All right, guys, listen up. Today we need to talk about something sacred. Something that's been on American Thanksgiving tables since before a lot of us can even remember. Now, I'm not talking about that dry turkey that spews smoke the second you stick a knife into it. I'm not talking about irrational political arguments, although those are pretty nice at the Thanksgiving table. And I'm certainly not talking about Aunt Linda's mystery Jell-O mold. What I'm talking about is Campbell's soup, that glue that holds your green bean casserole together. That silent partner that's been in all of your school lunches since a kid, or half of them anyway. But as it turns out, if you've paid attention to the news lately, that red and white can is having quite the moment. And I'm not talking about the Norman Rockwell kind of moment. You see, here's the secret. Campbell's soup didn't come from your great-grandma's canning cabinet. Your great-grandma, she used things like mason jars, a pressure cooker, and ingredients that still resembled something that came off of a farm. Now that red and white can of Campbell's, what's in that is a whole other story that we're about to get to. But first, before we get into the nitty-gritties of what's inside the can, let's talk about why Campbell's is trending in the first place. And it's not because of the new casserole recipe. It's because of a guy named Robert Garza. Robert Garza is a former cybersecurity analyst, now Campbell's soup whistleblower. Garza did what tech people do best. He pushed the record button. And what he recorded was a senior Campbell official on some wild profanity-laced rant that would actually kind of make a sailor feel uncomfortable. And the things he said were pretty damning to Campbell Soup, Campbell Company. He mocked Campbell's customers as poor people, although most of us, anybody, all of us, even the richest of us have had Campbell Soup. They've had that green bean casserole. They've had a lot of those casserole recipes. It was kind of an unfair statement. He made some very crude statements about their Indian employees, things that would make a lot of people feel uncomfortable. And as far as Campbell's own products, well, let's just say that he made Campbell's products sound like radioactive slop you'd find in a 1970s fallout shelter. At one point, he even referenced bioengineering meat. And of course, the headlines that came out the next day was that Campbell's printing 3D chickens, at least 3D chicken meat. So let's just stop right there and let's get into the facts of what's really going on over at Campbell's. Campbell's, number one, does not 3D print chickens, nor do they 3D print their chicken meat. There is absolutely no cyber bird lab inside the Campbell factory somewhere. There's not some weird tech guy running around with a USB drive with poultry blueprints for their 3D printer. That's just not how it works. Now, of course, Campbell Company themselves responded very quickly to these allegations, put this senior executive on immediate leave. They already fired the whistleblower back when he initially whistleblowed back in January. So this is total protocol for Campbell's when somebody gets too public. They're that family company, right? And they made it clear that the remarks do not represent Campbell's values or their recipes. So if they're not exactly printing poultry, what exactly are they doing that would make this guy make some of these remarks? Because we all know that the rant had some truths to it. I'm glad you're asking the same question I am. Before I get too far into this video, guys, though, and ruin your Thanksgiving dinner, I hope you take a moment to reflect on what Meet My Neighbor Productions, our 501c3 nonprofit, has done this past year and consider helping us make it into another year.
It's been months since Hurricane Helene flooded farms like this one in western North Carolina. Now help is arriving from hundreds of miles away to help farmers restore their soil and their livelihoods.
Over the past several months, Meet My Neighbor Productions has trucked and delivered over 1,000 cubic yards of compost in addition to hay, grain, chicken tractors, grow towers, feed, and other immediate needs to help western North Carolina farmers provide critical, local, and nutritional food to their communities.
From the bottom of our heart, we thank everyone who's donated and helped out.
This is a game changer. We're very grateful.
Meet My Neighbor Productions, or MMNP as we call it, is a nonprofit we created to support our farming and rural communities.
It takes a lot to feed a whole community of people. The lettuce that you ate was grown right there. Like, you cannot get more local than that.
Since its inception, MMNP has been community funded, enabling us to focus on stories without the prejudice of the government or large foundations.
You don't understand how big your documentary is. Your documentary changes everything across an entire nation.
Meet My Neighbor Productions has grown from a small farm series to documentaries ranging from the coast of Maine to the mountains of British Columbia all the way down to the panhandle of Texas, supporting farms and educating the consumer.
Yeah, farming's in trouble. Those times are gone. And the small farmers, pretty much gone.
While the rest of the world is fighting to destroy rural livelihoods, we're striving to educate the public and ensure the strength of our rural communities.
There's nothing more real than growing up on a ranch. You know, you get to see the life.
Our documentaries have opened eyes, our Rural Youth Fund has opened doors to new frontiers, and our Relief Fund has saved communities.
People just started coming out of the woodwork to help. So it's a pretty exciting thing to see so many organizations just come together, and especially so many people from 200 miles away.
Take action now and click the link below this video.
All right, so let's take a little Thanksgiving tour of the ingredient list on your plate. Cream of mushroom soup. It's a family favorite this time of year. Like I said, it's the glue that holds that green bean casserole together. Yes, it actually does have mushrooms. And yes, it actually does have some sort of processed cream. But it also has modified cornstarch, whey protein, flavor enhancers, natural flavors, which is kind of the corporate way of saying, sorry, we're not telling you. And it has enough stabilizers to keep your casserole structurally sound until New Year's Eve, and probably a month after. Now, your great-grandmommy did not add these to her soup. What she probably added was a little bit of butter and some prayer. Now, let's get to the meat question. Campbell's has launched plant-based lines, but their plant-based chicken is not 3D printed. Not even close. It's not lab-grown from animal cells. It's vegetarian, has absolutely no animal cells in it whatsoever. And it wasn't engineered in some secret military lab with some random vaccines in it they want to give you. But guys, here's the thing. If you're imagining some sort of wholesome tofu block shaped into a nice chicken tender strip, that's not what you're getting either. So think of it like this. It's basically soy and pea protein shoved through an industrial Play-Doh machine. It's flavored, it's textured, then it's stabilized and molded into some sort of chicken-looking substance. It's a pretty good impersonator, but still not exactly an impersonator of any type of raw food product. But is it lab goo? Not exactly. And is it real chicken? Absolutely not. Is it overprocessed? Guys, let me tell you, it's been through some serious processing. Granted, almost everything in a Campbell's can is real food. After it's been pastified, thickened, powdered, stabilized, enriched, enhanced, flavored, preserved, acidified, and parked on a shelf for about 2 to 3 years. Sometimes longer. Grocery stores love Campbell's soup because of its shelf life. A lot of preppers love Campbell's soup because of its shelf life. Most people don't think about what's actually in the soup. It's not fake food. It's real food that's been marched through an industrial obstacle course and finished off with a really nice chemistry set. But before anybody gets too high and mighty about soup, let's talk about your butterball turkey. You ever wondered about how many vaccines, antibiotics, and hormones the average commercial turkey encounters in its lifetime? Let me put it this way. If your butterball turkey was a Marvel character, its superpower would be clinical trial survivability. Those turkeys that you're eating have a life that belongs in a medical textbook. And not a children's book, that's for sure. So guys, let's call it for what it is and not pretend that Thanksgiving dinner is some sort of natural affair. Look, I'm not saying don't enjoy your Thanksgiving meal. I'm sure I will. Eat your casserole, eat your turkey, eat that weird cranberry stuff that comes out still shaped like a can. But do not, for an instant, fool yourself into thinking that all of these fancy recipes are something that came out of your great-grandma's pantry. Thanksgiving is essentially factory food dressed up in tradition. Maybe, just maybe, for your Christmas dinner or every other meal you eat after watching this video, you'll visit your local farmer's market. Maybe you'll consider spending a little extra money and buying a pasture-raised turkey. Consider learning how to make a real roux instead of popping open that Campbell's can. Do a little bit of a search through the attic, find some of your great-grandma's old recipes, and go to town with them. Wouldn't it be nice? I mean, just think about it. To go back and have Thanksgiving dinner and know what it tasted like before shelf stabilizers. Tradition, guys, doesn't come from a factory. It comes from family and real food. Anyway, guys, that is the rundown on Campbell's soup. I feel like they should come out with a new slogan. The truth may be canned, but it shouldn't be condensed. Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Ancient eras and natural selection have refined and tailored pristine fibers with the resilience for today's days. Evolving beyond the last ice age, bison wool is nature's most dependable activewear. Buffalo Wool Company, 100% proven by nature, 100% American made.
Check out the Buffalo Wool Company collection at yanasatradingco.com.